Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And in today's video, I'll be doing the NHL 2020 playoffs. Technically, since due to COVID-19, it's a 2014 playoffs. So the first round, technically the first round, not really though, is the best out of 5. So first to win 3. And then after that, it's actually the first round, second round conference finals, and Stanley Cup finals, which are best out of 7s. So I set up my bracket here. And let's start off with the Western Conference at the top. Here we go. So first off, we got the Winnipeg Jets and the Calgary Flames. Now this one's going to be really tight. So first, before I pick my team to win, I'm going to write down what the the series are going to be in. So I think it's going to be best out of 5. So it's going to be game 5. So that means technically like a game 7, but it's game 5. And I think it's going to be the Jets that move on, and they win 3-2 over the Flames. Okay, next one, it's going to be the Stars against, the Stars are moving on in the bye there. It's going to be the Oilers against the Blackhawks. This one's not going to be a big one, even though, Oilers got McDavid, they got Mike Smith as their new goalie, I'm pretty sure. They got Leon Draisaitl leading point score goal thingy. So let's see, who should I put in this round? Actually, it's not really a big deal, even though the Blackhawks got Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews and the new goalie Robin Lehner, but I still think the Oilers are still going to win 3-1. Lehner swept the Penguins last year with the Islanders, but now since with the Blackhawks don't really have a great team. Sorry, Blackhawks fans. Next is the Canucks against the Wild, and the winner is moving on again to face Colorado Avalanche. Wild is probably the worst team. Again, sorry, no offense to Wild fans, but the worst team in probably the whole playoffs. So, I think Canucks can get this easily, and I think the Canucks might actually sweep 3-0. I'm writing Stars, Blues, Jets, and also their nicknames, nicknames kind of thing, like STL, COL, VAN. Okay, next is Predators against Coyotes. This is a very tough one since Nashville has been losing it a lot before they paused the season. They've been losing a lot of games. They were really good, and then they kind of came to the bottom of the standings, but still in the playoffs, but towards the bottom of the standings in later on. So, and the Coyotes have been doing really good. So is the Canucks up there, really good. Even though Coyotes have gotten, Taylor Hall. They still have Phil Kessel, who hasn't been doing good. They have got Nick Schmaltz, I think that's how you pronounce it. So many good players. But I still think the Nashville Predators are going to take it off because Peg Arena is real outstanding in the playoffs. So, I think this is there. Oh, and I forgot to put Oilers up here. Okay. Now on to the Eastern Conference. So the top of the Eastern Conference is the Toronto Maple Leafs, which is where I live in Toronto, my hometown. But not my favorite team. And the Columbus Blue Jackets, who were surprising last time against the Tampa Bay Lightning and swept them. But I think Toronto still has an edge. I don't know why. They've been playing really good. like Nylander, Marner, Matthews, Morgan Riley, John Tavares, like outstanding. They also got one of Colorado's best defense in my opinion, Tyson Barrie, and to the Maple Leafs. They also got an outstanding goalie, Frederik Andersen. And with the loss of Bobrovsky on the Columbus Blue Jackets, I think Toronto is going to win this game. Next one is personally my favorite one. The Canadiens against the Penguins. Canadiens is my favorite team. Everybody who's a Canadiens fan, you're on the right track. So I'm not going to be one of those guys who just go like, oh, since it's my favorite team, I'm just going to make them win the whole thing. No. But, oh, I forgot to predict this series. My bad. 3-2 Nashville. And here, I'm going to say, what should I do? 3-1. So, like I was saying, the Canadiens, I think since they have Price, and since they haven't made the playoffs for a really long time, this is technically the chance, and they really want to win because they haven't won for a long time. But Pittsburgh still has, Crosby, Malkin, they have Tristan Jarry, their starting goalie, instead of Matt Murray, because Matt Murray hasn't been playing well. They got Jake Gunsel, who's insane in the playoffs. He's the person you have to look out for. But I still think the Montreal Canadiens, just because of Carey Price and Max Domi, and I think they can really do it. I think they have a chance of beating the Pittsburgh Penguins. I know it's my favorite team, but I just have a feeling this is the year for them. Next up, in the series is probably going to be 3-2 for Montreal. Next one is the Florida Panthers and the New York Islanders. I actually think, right off the bat, I think it's going to be a really tight game. 3-2. Going to get the last game in Game 5. I think the Panthers have a slight edge over the Islanders. Even though Islanders swept Penguins last year, but they lost Robin Lehner, who's outstanding. But they have Matthew Barzal, who I think that's how you pronounce it, but Matthew Barzal. They have so many other good players, but I think the Florida Panthers are going to win 3-2. So the only the only team that swept the series in the first round so far is the Vancouver Canucks over the Wild, which is not that surprising, I guess. Next up, we have the Carolina Hurricanes and the New York Rangers. Again, Rangers, Panarin, Zinovblad, that guy. Really good. Zinabad, I think that's how you pronounce it. Ryan Strome and all that stuff. They have been doing really good. Right? But the Carolina Hurricanes, on the other hand, they beat the Washington defending champs last year. And it was, the year before. In 2018, Washington won. And Carolina beat them in 2019. But I don't want to talk about too much about this one. NYR Rangers are moving on 3-1. And I'm actually going to change this, the Wild, just because I realized I forgot they have Kevin Fiala, who's been doing outstanding. I'll just let them win one game against the Vancouver Canucks. So no sweeps in the first round. Moving on to the second round, we got the Blues and the Jets in the Western Conference. To be honest, I think this is like the rematch of the last time. Now we're actually getting to the real playoffs. Because these were like just like best. Now this is best out of 7. I think this one, instead of going, I think it was game 6 last time or game 5 when the Blues beat the Jets. I think it's going to go opposite way around. Jets with Connor Hellebuck, Patrick Laine, Mark Scheifele. I think they're going to beat the Blues in 7 games. So 4-3. Okay. Even though the Blues were defending champs last year with like Vladimir Tarasenko, Tarasenko, Pietrangelo, Binnington, but Jets, I think Connor Hellebuck, Laine, Wheeler, and all those players. I think they're gonna get it this time. They're gonna get their revenge on the Blues. Next is the Stars and the Oilers. Stars, again, Ben Bishop, Tyler Seguin, Jamie Benn, but like all those players, like so good. Like John Klingberg. But Edmonton had the leading point scorer, Leon Draisaitl, and Connor McDavid. One of the 2 best players this season and right now. So I think, even though the Edmonton Oilers, I think Ben Bishop is better than Mike Smith, if they're starting Mike Smith, I still think the Edmonton Oilers will move on and beat the Stars. Next is Colorado Avalanche and Vancouver Canucks. Since Vancouver Canucks haven't made the playoffs, I don't know, but they made it to Stanley Cup final in 2011 and lost to Boston. And I think after that they haven't moved forward to the second round. Also, Colorado with the starting lineup with Nathan MacKinnon. They have Gabriel Landeskog and Mikko Rantanen. Even though they lost Tyson Barrie, they still have Grobauer and all that stuff. I still think the Canucks are going to win with Elias Pettersson, Bosser, Markstrom, JT Miller, Bo Horvat, all of those great players. I think like Quinn Hughes, I think Vancouver is going to finally move on to the second round and beat Nathan MacKinnon and the Colorado Avalanche. I know, surprising, but that's my theory. Next is the Vegas Golden Knights and Nashville Predators. I think with Roman Josi, their like defense of the Nashville is really good, but also like the Golden Knights with Marcia Salt, William Karlsson, Mark Stone, like those players, like normally when they're on the other teams you barely heard of them, but now since they're on Vegas they're just like shining. They're like really good. So I don't know which, this is the toughest one here. Oh, I forgot the series. Oh my gosh, sorry. I'm always forgetting the series. So I think Edmonton Stars 4 in game 6, and then this is going to be game 7. These are going to be the long ones. This one is also going to be, I don't know, but like the forward line of the Nashville Predators has been doing good. They have been doing good lately, so I'm going to give the edge to Vegas Golden Knights with Marc-Andre Fleury in game 6. Next up is the Boston Bruins and Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, all my friends here are Leafs fans. Leafs. Some random kid at my school who loves the Boston Bruins. Right? So, I don't know. It's going to be really tight. I think it's also going to go game 7. But the way Leafs played last year and the year before against the Bruins, it's always been game 7. They always lost. But I think this year they're going to redeem themselves and they're going to win a game 7. Toronto Maple Leafs moving on. Next is the Philadelphia Flyers and the Montreal Canadiens. After Montreal beating Pittsburgh, they're gonna be like, oh, they might be overconfident, but I still think that the Montreal Canadiens are going to beat the Philadelphia Flyers in 6 games. I don't know, just hear me out. Oh wait, why did I write 6? I mean 4-2 in 6 games. I don't know why, but I just don't feel Philadelphia. Philadelphia would be good. I'm just in my mind when I think about this match, I'm like Philadelphia. They're not like the greatest team, but this year they're being really good. So I don't know, but I'll just give it to Montreal Canadiens. Now this is gonna be a good one right here. If this happens, I'll be really happy. Next is Tampa Bay in Florida. You know, Tampa Bay really want the win because they got swept, even though they were first place by a mile, and they got swept to the Columbus Blue Jackets. They're gonna want it, even though Florida, Alexander Barkov, Huberdeau, Bobrovsky. I think they're gonna win 4-2 for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Next is the Washington Capitals and the New York Rangers. Again, since I want to speed this up a bit, I think I'm going to give it, Rangers are going to win in Game 7. And now here, the Jets against the Oilers. Oilers, really good. Jets also really good. But since the Jets had a miracle run against the Blues and the Flames, I think their streak might end here. And I'm sorry to all Jets fans here, but I think it's going to be a 2 for Edmonton going to the conference finals. And then the Canucks and the Golden Knights. Again, I think Canucks, in my head, they're playing really good. They've been playing really good all season. The Vegas Golden Knights also, but I don't know who to pick right now, but I don't know. I'm leaning more to Vancouver in Game 7, but then the Vegas Golden Knights are just Marc-Andre Fleury, outstanding goaltender. I'm going to give it to the Vancouver Canucks in Game 7. Okay, next is the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Montreal Canadiens. Actually, I'm going to skip this one since this one's much easier. Tampa Bay and Rangers. The Rangers beat the Washington Capitals. That was really good. Again, same with the Jets. They had a good run, but I think it's going to end here in 4-1 for Tampa Bay. And then Toronto, Montreal. Again, biggest series here for rivalries, I think. This is a big rivalry. Even though this year, every single time the Montreal Canadiens and the Toronto Maple Leafs faced, the Montreal Canadiens won every single game. And I was really happy. But I have a feeling that the Toronto Maple Leafs might move on in 6 games against the Montreal. I'm sorry to all the Montreal Canadiens fans. I'm sorry for myself. I'm really sad that I had to pick this. I hope the Montreal moves on to the Stanley Cup Finals or the Conference Finals. I'm just happy to see them in the playoffs, honestly. And as much I would love to Montreal Canadiens to beat Toronto, out of everybody, I'm going to say Toronto's going to beat the Montreal Canadiens. Now Edmonton and Vancouver. Again, Vancouver really good, but they had an outstanding run beating the Wild, then the Avalanche with Nathan McKinnon, Landeskog, Rantanen, and then the Vegas Golden Knights. I think it's going to end in a 4-2 Edmonton. And same with Tampa Bay and Toronto. Toronto also had a miracle run. Not really, but against Boston, their toughest game. Tampa Bay, not that of a hard run this year, but Tampa Bay's going to want it so much. And I can't believe I'm saying this right now. I really can't believe, but I really think 4-3 Toronto Maple Leafs moves on to the Stanley Cup Finals. And it's them two in the Stanley Cup Finals. Here, I was right here. And now, the battle of the Stanley Cup Finals. both have blue jerseys, the blue team. I'm calling them the blue team. Edmonton and Toronto. Edmonton, super good. Toronto, again, super good. Toronto, John Tavares, Morgan Riley. Oh, like, if you think of it really much, if you think of it a lot, the Toronto Maple Leafs don't have the best defense. Like, Morgan Riley, but, like, Tyson Barrie, like, not much else. I haven't followed hockey for a while since the coronavirus, so I can't remember now as much as I used to, since I used to be, like, grinding NHL, checking every single day. Edmonton, also not the strongest defense either. But but this is like the power of the scoring game, like their goaltenders and so I'll give it this first. Toronto probably has the better goaltender. Toronto has better defense. Toronto probably has the better offense. Like, Toronto's dominating everything. But the problem is the Leon Draisaitl, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, James Neal, Connor McDavid, that line. And also Toronto Maple Leafs, John Tavares, Austin Matthews, William Nylander, Mitchell Marner, I think I already said John Tavares, yeah. So I'm going to give this one, and I really don't want to do this, even though Montreal is my favorite team and I really don't like the Leafs. I really think that the Toronto Maple Leafs will win the Stanley Cup Finals. If I really went full, like, this is like me being super serious with the playoffs. Like, I'm taking this super serious. Like, if this was like a thing, this is my bracket I would enter in. But if it was like for fun and like it wasn't like I wasn't being super serious, but I wasn't being like really like, oh, my favorite team's gonna move them on, right? If I wasn't being like that, I was just right in the middle. I might have I never would have put Toronto in here and win the Stanley Cup Finals. But there you have it. Toronto Maple Leafs wins it. See you guys next time. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and turn on notifications. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed. Bye.